Hello, St. Peter's. Welcome back to another fun story time in the library. My friends are here today with me as usual. We have Ralph, Magic Monkey, Daisy's back here, and of course, Joy, our pick of joy, she's sitting with her jar of joy behind her today. So we'll be able to spread some joy when we're all finished with our book and our fun activity. All right, are you ready to see what we're going to do today? We're in a new month. It's May now. So we're going to transition from our beginning of spring. And this month, we're going to hear some fairy tales. Maybe there's some fairy tales that you may have heard before. And some of them are going to be turned around a little bit and told in a little bit of a different way. Are you ready to see what we have today? All right, let's get ready. Let's turn up our ears so we're ready to listen. Turn off our mouths so we don't make a sound. Put your hands quietly in your lap. Take a nice big deep breath. And now we're ready for our story. So today I'm going to give you a classic fairy tale, something you probably have heard before, but it's told in a little bit of a different way. It's a little funnier than you may have heard it before. And this is called Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Do you know this one? You do? Okay, well, if you haven't heard it before, I'm glad to show this one to you for the first time. But if you have, pay close attention and listen because it could be a little bit different from the version that you heard. All right? So this one is retold by Jim Aylesworth and illustrated by Barbara McClintock. The pictures are pretty cool. So there they are. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Here we go. Most fairy tales start with 4 words. Do you know what they are? That's right. Once upon a time. And that's how this one starts as well. Here we go. Once upon a time, there lived a little girl named Goldilocks, who was very, very good. Except that sometimes she forgot to do things that her mother told her to do. Yes, she did. Fortunately, most of the things she forgot to do were small things, like forgetting to tie her shoe or forgetting to wipe her mouth after eating bread and jam. And so it didn't matter too much. But once in a while, Goldilocks would forget not to do the things that her mother told her not to do. And that kind of forgetting would lead to much more serious trouble. It's always hard to not do something people don't want you to do. Well, very like the trouble that happened on the day of this story. It all began one sunny morning when Goldilocks asked if she could go out onto the meadow to pick flowers. "You may go," said her mother, "but make sure not to go into the woods. I've heard that a family of bears lives there." "Yes, ma'am," said Goldilocks, and she picked up her flower basket and she left out the door. But very soon she saw a butterfly. Can you see it? It's kind of hard to see. There it is. So she saw that butterfly and she began to chase it. And as luck would have it, that butterfly led her to the very edge of the woods. And then, just then, Goldilocks saw a pretty yellow bird. And wanting to see more pretty birds, she forgot not to do what her mother told her not to do. And she followed a path up into the woods, looking for pretty birds. Uh-oh. She forgot she wasn't supposed to do that. Whoa, look at that house. Very soon, Goldilocks came to a curious little house there in the woods. And oh, she thought it was so pretty that straight away she peeked in through the kitchen door. In the meantime, the family of bears who lived there had just left out the front door for a walk while their bowls of breakfast porridge cooled off on their kitchen table. So she's peeking in this door, And they left over here, so they don't know that she's at the other door. "Hello?" called Goldilocks. "Anybody home?" Well, there was nobody home, of course, and Goldilocks should have turned around and gone back to the meadow. But oh, it was ever so pretty and curious inside there, that even though her mother had told her not to go into people's houses without being invited, she forgot not to, and she went in anyway. Well, straight away, she saw those porridge bowls on the kitchen table, and yes, that porridge smelled so delicious that I'm afraid she forgot that her mother had told her not to touch other people's food. And she decided that she had to have a taste. And she did. First, she took a taste from the great, huge Papa Bear bowl. But oh my, no, that porridge was much too hot. So then she took a taste from the middle-sized Mama Bear bowl. But that porridge was too cold. And so then she took a taste from the wee small Baby Bear bowl. And she found it neither too hot nor too cold, but just right. And so delicious that without really meaning to, she ate it all up. Oh, no. That wasn't very nice. Well, then she went into the parlor, and there she saw 3 curious chairs. Goldilocks thought they were the most curious chairs that she had ever seen. In fact, they seemed so curious to her that even though her mother had told her not to use people's things without permission, oh, she forgot not to, and she climbed up and sat down in the great, huge Papa Bear chair. That's a big chair. But after only a moment or two, she found that this great, huge chair was much too hard for her. So she climbed down and she sat in the medium-sized Mama Bear chair. But that chair was too soft for her. She's really sinking in. So next she sat in the wee small Baby Bear chair. And that chair she found neither too hard nor too soft, but just right. But when she leaned back to make herself more comfortable, it broke and dropped her onto the floor with a crash. Oh no, now she broke the baby's chair. Well, you might think that being dropped on the floor like that would have put a stop to her being so curious. But no, it didn't. Sadly, no. For just then Goldilocks saw the curious little stairs, and she was so intrigued that she went up them. Boy, oh boy, is she doing so many things she shouldn't be. At the top, she found an even more curious and pretty room. And even though her mother had often told her not to be nosy about other people's private business, she forgot not to, and she went in. And there she saw 3 curious beds. Whoa, look how big that one is. And straight away, she climbed up into the great, huge Papa Bear bed. But very like the great, huge Papa Bear chair, Goldilocks found it too hard for her. So she tried the medium-sized Mama Bear bed. But like the Mama Bear chair, she found it too soft for her. And so she tried the wee small Baby Bear bed. And yes, she found it neither too hard nor too soft, but just right. And so very, very comfortable that without really meaning to, she fell sound asleep. Uh-oh. Now she's sleeping in the bear's house. This is going to be bad news, I think. Let's see. Then, just then, the bear family returned from their walk. The great, huge Papa Bear went over to the kitchen table, and in his great, huge voice, he said, "Someone's been eating my porridge." Then the Mama Bear looked at her bowl, and in her medium-sized voice, she said, "Someone's been eating my porridge." And then the Baby Bear looked at his bowl, and in his wee small voice, he said, "Someone's been eating my porridge, and they ate it all up." Oh boy. What's happening next? Well, they went into the parlor. "Someone's been sitting in my chair," said the Papa Bear in his great, huge voice. "And someone's been sitting in my chair," said the Mama Bear in her medium-sized voice. "And someone's been sitting in my chair," cried the Baby Bear in his wee small voice. "And they broke it all up." Oh, he's crying because his chair is broken. I don't blame him. So cautiously, the bears went up the stairs. They look a little nervous. They're not sure what's up there. The Papa Bear looked at his bed, and in his great, huge voice, he said, "Someone's been sleeping in my bed." "And someone's been sleeping in my bed," said the Mama Bear in her medium-sized voice. "And someone's been sleeping in my bed," cried the Baby Bear. "And there she is." Oh my goodness. She's still sleeping. Then, just then, Goldilocks woke up and she looked up at the bears who were looking at her. And just as fast, she remembered that her mother had told her not to talk to strangers. And she didn't do it. No, indeed, she didn't. Instead, she ran down the stairs and ran through the kitchen, and she ran out the door, and she ran and she ran and she ran all the way home. Whew. She must have been scared. And from all that I've heard, Goldilocks' scary experience there in the woods that day did wonders to improve her young memory. And while it's true that she still sometimes forgets to do small things, like tying her shoe or wiping her mouth after eating bread and jam, Goldilocks never, ever forgot not to do what her mother told her not to do. Ever, ever, ever again. I think she learned her lesson, didn't she? So Goldilocks was really not listening to what her mother told her. She went into a house she's not supposed to go into. She ate people's food that they didn't offer to her. She broke a chair. She slept in their bed. Oh my goodness, so many things you should not do. But when those bears came back, she sure was scared, wasn't she? I don't think she's going to do that again. Do you? No way. Well, that was our first fairy tale. I stuck with one that was kind of traditional, and I think maybe you've heard that story before. I hope you liked this version. Would you like to make your own bear? Let's do it. Here's what I have in store for us today. All I used was circles, circles, so many circles. So you can decide if you're making a Papa Bear, a Mama Bear, or a Baby Bear. And guess what? You could make all three. So this was my Papa Bear, right? Pretty good. I'm going to show you how to make a Mama Bear because she looks pretty much the same, but maybe we'll put something like a bow in her hair, something that makes her look like a girl. Okay, so all I'm using is construction paper. Now, you might say, oh no, Ms. Billingers, I don't have construction paper. If that's okay, whatever plate paper that you have, you can always color it whatever color you want your bear to be. So don't worry. It doesn't have to be the colors that I have. Whatever you have at home is going to be amazing, okay? All right, so first take your first color. I like to take my darker color. Actually, let's do the opposite. Since you see what this looks like, let's make Mama Bear a lighter bear. Okay? So I'm going to take just a regular piece of paper, and I'm going to use my pencil and draw a big circle on it. Now, if you wanted to, you could get like a paper plate or a dinner plate and make your circle. But it's going to be pretty big, most of the paper. I'm just going to draw a circle. Does it matter if my circle's perfect? Nope, it doesn't. Just draw the best circle that you can. Once you drew your circle, you're going to cut it out. We're going to do circles, circles all day long. Okay? So we're going to cut out this circle. Follow your line the best that you can. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect to be amazing. There's my circle. It's kind of like an egg shaped. So if I wanted to, I could trim it a little bit, but don't get carried away with trimming your circle too much. It's okay. So there's my first circle. Then I'm going to take another color. So in this case, I'm going to take the darker color, and I need to make a smaller circle. So in order to do this, you can draw it freehand again. You can find something that is smaller, like this tape roll that I have. You can use maybe a cup or something like that to trace it. So this time I'm going to trace a circle on my brown paper. I'm going to attach it to my clipboard because when I hold it up, I don't want it to fall. So I'm just going to put something down and trace around the outside of my tape roll. Now, if I didn't have that, do I need it? No, I could just draw the circle on my own. Okay, so that's my smaller circle. But before, well, yeah, let's cut that out first. Then we're going to still keep using this same color. Okay, so go ahead. I'm going to cut my paper in half so I don't have to worry about all that by my hand. So we're going to cut out, oh my goodness, it fell right out of my hand. We're going to cut out this circle. We're going to follow the line the best that we can. You can see it on my, kind of watching it on my screen here. Okay, so we're going to cut out this circle, and this is going to be like her snout, her nose area. Okay, like I did here. So this piece is going to go right there at the bottom of her face. Okay, so what do you think I'm going to do? That's right, I'm going to glue it on. So get your glue stick out. If you have white glue, that's fine. If you have whatever glue you have, you're just going to put all your glue on there. And then stick it on the bottom so it's actually touching the bottom of your face. Okay? It's okay if a little bit shows out. We can either trim that off later or just leave it how it is. Well, then my bear needs some ears, right? So I'm going to use that same paper. Now see this one that I cut this hole out of? Right. Trim those edges off, and we're going to use this piece. We're going to try to use all the paper so we don't waste any. Fold this piece in half, okay? And you're just going to draw your circle on this piece. Okay? You can find something if you need a tracer. If not, just draw a circle. That's going to be your ear. Now I folded it in half, and do you know why? Right. So when I cut this circle out, it's going to be 2 ears because I have 2 pieces of paper folded up here. Okay? So cut this one out. Just like that. And now I have my 2 bear ears. But I like how this has another color on the inside. Oh, you know what I did? I made her ears a different color. That's okay. I'm still going to go with it. So now I'm going to use my scrap from my big one. See, I have all this on the edge. Cut that like that. I don't even need it that big. Cut it in half. Fold it in half. And you're going to make a circle again. This is going to go on the inside of your ear. Okay? The inside of your ear. We're just going to make a circle on this whole piece like that. All right. So you see, this is not the color scheme that I planned, but I already cut my other circles. I don't want to waste my paper. So that is okay with me. I'm just going to change it up. So now I have bigger circles in one color, lighter circles, smaller circles in another color. Okay, so they're going to go on top of each one. And that's why if you're just using white paper, just color them 2 different colors. Okay, then get your glue stick. Get your glue stick. And we're going to glue the smaller circle. Just put it kind of in the middle of the bigger circle, like that. And of course, we have 2 of them, so I'm going to do it again. Stick it in the middle. There we go. Now, we have our 2 bear ears. So the ears, we're going to put it on this one. If you notice, my ears, I glued to the back, okay? We're going to glue it on the back side. So that means I want you to watch carefully about where I put my glue. So that means on my ear, I'm going to put the glue on the front, just on the bottom part of it, okay? Oops. Sorry, Mama Bear, you're falling down. All right, so it's on the front. I'm going to put some glue all the way across, just at the bottom part. And then I'm going to tuck it behind at the top of her head on one side, okay? And I'm going to do the same thing for the other one. Put the glue at the bottom, and then I'm going to tuck it behind her head on this side, and then push it down, okay? There's my ears, looking pretty good. I like it. So now we need, what do we need? Let's see. We're missing her nose, right? Let's make a nose. Do you want a black nose? Let's do it. I have some black paper, some scraps actually. So for her black nose, I need it to be smaller than this. Now, because I used this tape roll, right? I went around the outside of it. If you use something like this time you can trace around the inside, just like this. And that will automatically make it smaller because her nose is this big and this one's smaller. If you don't have a tracer, all you have to do is make it a little bit smaller. And if you cut it out and it's not small enough, guess what? You can always cut more off, right? So I'm cutting that circle out for her nose, and let's test it out. Is it smaller? It sure is. Is it a big nose? Absolutely. I kind of like the big nose. Should we keep it or should we trim it a little? All right, let's keep it. Okay, take your glue stick. Don't you love how we're just making a bear out of circles, circles, and more circles? You're going to put your glue on your nose, big nose, small nose, whatever size nose you have. And this time the nose goes kind of close to the top of that circle, but not touching the top, okay? See how you can still see some of the brown up there? So kind of close, but not touching it. There it is. Well, let's give her a little bit of a smile. So from down here, I'm going to use my black crayon, and I'm going to put a line like that, and then I'm going to curve up this way. And then I'm going to come down that same middle line, and I'm going to curve up the other way. There's her smile. Now you have a choice here. We can cut out some circle eyes, or you can draw eyes on with your crayon. It's up to you. I'm going to cut them out because I want to show you one more thing. Now, the eyes can be small, right? So we just need a little piece of paper. This is actually too big. I'm going to cut this piece of paper in half. We can use that scrap for something else. Fold it in half. Now, just like the nose, you are going to decide, do you want big eyes or little eyes? I kind of like my eyes being not too big since my nose is so big. So I'm just going to draw a circle on this black piece. It's really hard to see. There, you can kind of see it was shiny if I don't keep dropping them. And then the same thing, keep it folded and cut out that circle. Those are your eyes. Now you have 2 eyes for your bear, right? What are we going to do with them? Yes, we're going to glue the eyes on the bear. just like before. So take your glue stick. These are very small. Might be hard for you to see me do this. Take your glue stick. I'm going to put one eye there. Put glue on my other eye. Glue it on right there. Oh, look at that. And that is my mama bear. Here's my papa bear. You know what I think I want to do for mama? I'm going to make her a bow. Would you like to make a bow? All right. We'll do one more step and make a bow. This time, let's just use our white paper so then you can see. Now, for the bow, let's just cut a strip off so we can save this for something else. We're going to cut this strip off. Okay? Now, there's a couple ways you can make a bow. If you want to make your bow with triangles, or you can make your bow that's more of a circular or a ribbon kind of bow. But I'm thinking maybe we'll make, since it's all circles, we should make a circle bow, right? So this time, you're going to fold your paper in half, okay? And I'm going to show you with my pencil. If you're really good at this, you can just do it. You can just draw it, but I'm going to show you with my pencil. So the important thing is you're going to start on the fold. This is the open side, right? You're going to draw this starting on the fold, on the fold. You're going to start there, and you're going to start kind of in the middle, and you're going to come out and draw a loop, just like that. Okay? So I just started in, and I just went out and back around. Does it need to be perfect? Nope. Does it have to be this big? No. You can make it even smaller. So now you're going to make sure that when you cut this, actually I think I'm going to cut mine a little below my pencil line because it seemed too big. When you open it up, ta-da, you have a bow. It's kind of a circle. They're more ovals, but that's okay. So then I could put a bow up here to show that it's a mama bear. Okay? I'm going to glue it on just like before. And then glue it on mama bear. There's her bow. And then maybe, since it's just white, if I can find my other colors, I have a few more crayons here. Oh, they're behind me. Here they are. I have a few more colors. So let's give her, I'm going to give her a polka dot bow. And do you know why? Because polka dots are circles. So I'm doing a bunch of circle, polka dots. I went off my clipboard there. I have a blue one. I could put some blue polka dots on there. But do you have to do polka dots? Nope. You don't even have to put a bow on if you don't want to. Or maybe you wanted to make baby bear and give him something different. So here are two bear options, different colors. I use different paper. Remember, if you don't have colored paper, use what you have and use your crayons to color it in. All right? What do you think? If you make all three bears, then you could retell the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I like it. What do you say? We spread some joy. Okay. All right, Joy, your turn. Come on down. See, I told you her jar was back there today. She wanted to sit with it. Let's see how we can spread some joy. Well, I think we kind of spread joy by making those bears, right? When people see them after we hang them up, they'll be smiling for sure. All right. Oh, this one is so nice. Tell someone you love them. Oh, Joy, that is a perfect way to spread some joy. You know, sometimes we get really busy and we're running around and we're trying to get dinner, and now it's baseball season or soccer season and everybody's running, and sometimes you get stressed out and people start fighting. Maybe take a breath and say, hey, Mom, I love you. Hey, Dad, I love you. You could even say it to your brothers and sisters. And if you say that, all of the other stuff will wash away and they'll feel so good. What a great way to spread some joy. Thank you for that, Joy. All right, well, we had a big project today, so I hope you spent some time and had fun making your circle bears. I hope you enjoyed our story of Goldilocks, and who knows what next week will bring. You're going to find out. Until then, boys and girls, have some fun, and don't forget, keep spreading your joy.